let's talk a bit more about your company, because that's where we're here for, and we only have around 25 minutes left, and I know you're a busy guy. Look at the website; it's quite amazing. The design and everything, and what you guys like seem to, the journey you guys seem to be on, and the momentum that you are gathering. Can you start by just introducing yourself? Who are you, Henrik Fabrin, and what's your company Certainly about?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, like I said, I'm Henrik, and I'm one of two founders of Certainly, and I'm the CEO. And I founded together with Dario, who actually. So I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for 10, 12 years, and I have two other companies. And in my previous company, Dario was the CTO, and then we founded this one together. So we already worked together for 4 years before doing Certainly. And it's within the chatbot or conversational AI space, but we focus especially on e-commerce businesses. Okay. So with the category we are in and building and trying to lead is the conversational commerce, and for us and for our customers, it's really interesting. There's a lot of interesting things to solve there, where our type of technology, with the state it is now and etc., it can actually do that. And the thing we try to focus on, let's say the enemy, is the fact that 98% of all web shop visitors, they do not convert. That's a really big number, right?
Yeah.
And do you know why?
Well, I'm guessing your answer would kind of be lack of interaction, lack of personalization.
My answer would be you don't know, and the fact is I don't know either. It's guesswork at best, right? It's guesswork. That's why we use a lot of money on analytics and use first-party data to try to figure out why. Okay. But the truth is, we do that because the technology has not been ready, so you could actually have a conversation with each of those 98% users. And that's what our technology enables you to do. So right before that, you couldn't do that, or if you use live chat, you use human agents. It's not feasible for you as a company to have 10,000 website visitors at one time and then have 10,000 human agents to have a conversation with them. It's not financially viable, right? So that's where we come in and we provide that opportunity. And that's really cool because it's a conversation that drives that insight. So if you have a conversation with a visitor, just like if you're in a physical store, right? If you ask, so how can I help you? What's important for you? You don't have to know so much about that person. You just need to know why they're there in that moment and what's important. And then you can help them buy the right product. Or even if they don't buy, you have new insights. So that's what we enable, that new insight into your entire visitor base. And number two, also driving more sales because you know why they're there. Okay. And knowing why you're there is important because I'm the same Henrik, but I can have different needs. I can be on the website or web shop today because hey, I need a new T-shirt because now it's summer and we can finally get out and I want to look flash. But the next day I'm there because I forgot it's my fiance's birthday, so I need to buy a present here and now. So same Henrik, different needs, right? The different needs, so different things will help me buy the right product, help me convince me. And that's only through conversation that you can have that knowledge. And that's what we tap into. That enable that for 98%. And that's a really cool opportunity. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And I love the question that you asked first. Let me ask you this question, the 98% non-conversion question, that is, you think Amazon knows why that's the case?
On Amazon?
Yeah, do you think Amazon, with all their data scientists, do you think they know why people don't convert?
No, I don't think so. And we also have some from the data from our results, and that is because so if you use first-party data, that's what you use on the website. So based on what am I clicking on? What did I buy in the past? What am I hovering over? You try to infer meaning into that and see, okay, so I am guessing he or she's doing that. If you do that in a physical store, it meant that, okay, Henrik is in our store. I knew he bought a t-shirt last time. Let's throw a bunch of t-shirts at him. Let's not ask him. Oh, now he's over there at the jeans aisle. Let's throw a lot of other jeans at him, but let's not talk to him. It's kind of the same thing we're doing online.
Okay. I tried the product and I surfaced it. So you're telling me that you guys have some kind of data component because that's the AI part, right? Like where you gather data and where you can make smarter recommendations, correct?
Yeah, so there's a few components to all of this. One is sort of the AI engine that can pick up on, so what are you looking for? Are you looking for where's my order, or I want to find a specific product? And then the tool is for line of business people to then, and that's the stage where the industry is right now, that then they have to say, okay, if the user is asking for this, then let's take them through this flow. And that's fine and all. But then there's another component where so you can take our technology, you can layer it on a web shop, and then the bot will actually navigate the entire web shop for you. And it's through that layer that you can also enable all the events from the first party data stuff. And that's where it really goes into like hyper personalization mode, where if you just use it as this sort of standard chatbot, where you can also do that, but then you get limited results and value out of it.
Okay, I'm also interested to know like why you decided to start this company. Is it because the challenge was interesting? Is it because it was at a particular stage of growth?
Yeah.
This chatbot thing. Why did you decided to go in that domain? Because if I look at your LinkedIn, you don't have like specific experience in your past startups on chatbots, right?
No, I don't have a PhD in machine learning. I'm not a professor. I'm not a professor in AI.
Okay.
So, but I'm very good at becoming pretty good at many things pretty fast.
Okay.
So I'm that kind of generalist.
Cool.
So in my previous company, that was ad tech, and that was so helping brands figure out find the right users for their mobile apps. So we had, as an example, we had Zalando, is one of the biggest fashion retailers in Europe. We had them as the customers, right? And they were paying us enormous money to find the right users and to download their apps, which is cool. But then around the same time, Zuckerberg and Facebook opened up, so you could start engaging with users in Messenger, and we could see, well, wow, all those users are over there in Messenger. How do we connect a company like Zalando's products and service over their Messenger? Well, that's through conversation. And that's sort of where it started, and that fits my background a lot, because I've worked with e-commerce brands and sort of digital marketing from the last 10, 12 years.
Okay, I get it. I want to ask you, like, I'm all about parentheses. You said that you were more of a generalist. I would qualify myself as a generalist too, for many reasons, but I want to know why, because nowadays there's a lot of people that preach specificity and specializing in one specific thing and being the best at that thing. Why do you think being a generalist is the way to go?
It's I think both skills are needed. If you're an expert in a domain and you only focus on that, then if you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. That kind of, right? And that's great, because you need people that goes really deep in specific narrow fields. That's awesome. But you need the other side. You need the ones that bridges, and that's where I do. So I've been a professional musician. I am a businessman. I understand conversation. I understand blah blah blah. Right? I'm into architecture, and I'm into reading about how people in the past conquered the world, etc. So if you're good at understanding concepts from industry A, then you can then see how you can apply that to industry B.
Correct.
Then that has a lot of the value set that the experts cannot. but I cannot become an expert in one field only for the rest of my life. That's not how I am. So I think that building a team and scaling a company, you need a mix between those.
Agree.
Yeah.
Especially as a
agree.
CEO, especially as a CEO, you know, there's a great book about that. It's called Range, Why Generalists Triumph in a Specialized World by David Epstein, which talks
that
about
book.
that. Like he talks about Elon, he talks about like the Google guys, and the greatest point here is yes, cross pollination. So if I'm good at something in one specific industry, I can cross pollinate it in another. And you know, I think us entrepreneurs and us visionaries, we try to get as near as possible to the true laws of nature, as I call them. You know, when I talk to my guys in my business, I often refer to human psychology, philosophy, history, and I try to unify that like all under one roof with all the learnings that I had from doing, for example, an Ironman, which is this crazy triathlon. I can certainly cross-pollinate that in business, to never give up, to have, you know, this crazy resilience and stuff. So I do agree with that, and that's super interesting. Let's come back to your business here. I want to know, I have a couple of follow-up questions for you here, but I want to know, like, who do you target exactly? Let's talk a bit more about the sales aspect, because this is what this podcast is about. Who do you target? So e-commerce, yes, that's checked. What size of e-commerce, and do you target specific verticals?
It's a very good question. And just to take one step back, so we started actually with being general purpose, like horizontal platform. So we even had some banking customers and municipalities and blah.
Wow.
But we always saw that this, because we need to, there's like field testing. Where's the biggest opportunity for growth? And we saw, okay, well, this is e-commerce, and we saw that just before the COVID as well. So, but again, e-commerce is a big horizontal play as well, right? So then it becomes more of a tactic. So what do you attack first? And where we have success is in the mid market.
Okay, mid market.
Yeah, mid market. It's typical what's big in e-commerce. It's fashion, it's consumer electronics, etc. It's where you're buying a physical product. It's also where their average order size. So you're not buying. You talk about Elon. You're not buying a Tesla, right? You're buying some cool shirts, some apparel, or you're buying a new computer or something. So it's about that. So you have a reasonable size of transactions, because enough transaction means that you have enough of users on your website, and you have enough of perceived need for a product like ours.
Okay. When you say mid-market, because I talk with many clients and they have all different definitions of mid-market, could you give me a definition in terms of headcounts and annual revenue?
Headcounts, no.
Okay. Because e-commerce can be quite small, like they can be a small team and they can be humongous.
Exactly. So we have companies that are stock exchanges, right? Where the e-commerce team is small. We also have a company like Booking.com as customer. They have like 20,000 employees. Yeah, exactly. So it's easy to segment on what's the annual revenue size.
Okay.
Because because that's a indicator of how big are they, what's the organization type, right? But we look at it another way. We look at, so how many website visitors do they have? Okay, so based on that, we can see then they must have this amount of transactions.
Okay.
And then we say, that means that we would be able to provide value this way for them. And then we sort of triangulate that with, so this business, is it a modern digital native business, or is it, it can even be mid-sized, but do they buy like super enterprising with long procurements, etc.? Then it's not for us.
Okay.
Right.
Procurement. All right. That's quite interesting. Let's speed this up here, as we only have 10 minutes. I want to know how you get your new customers, because I guess like Booking.com, there were probably like people that you already knew or that you prospected yourself. So tell me a bit more about your your sales team?
Sure.
How do you acquire new logos, and how do you use say like your SDRs and your account execs to close transactions, if that's the case?
Yeah, sure. So again, it's on a timeline, right? But fundamentally, we have two channels. One is the direct sales. They come in directly, they book demos, free trials, and we do that based on we do campaigns and whatever, right? Then the other one are partners. So we have partners. Zendesk is a strategic partner of ours, and they use our tool to combat Salesforce and Intercom. So they're out there pushing us to their potential new customers. And then we have other partners like George's in the same field. We have then we have some agency partners that are work together. They work with a couple of hundred customers, so they're out there pushing our products to them. And the partner side of it is actually a bigger chunk of the new business than the digital marketing is.
Okay, and who's in charge of sales? Do you have a sales a head of sales, or is it you or your partner?
No. It's not. No, I'm not in sales directly anymore. Thank God. I'm pretty okay with it, but I'm not perfect at it. So in February we got our VP sales in Daniel.
Nice.
Who's a SaaS. You should check him out. He's a SaaS veteran. He's working with e-commerce for many years. He runs SaaS Nordic. SaaS Nordic is a podcast and event and everything. He's a real cool guy. So he runs the team, and then we have BDRs and we have AEs. Because still our technology is new to most. Some customers they just want to get in, do a free trial, and start playing around by themselves. Others they want to book a demo. They want to have the grand tour. So we try to let them. We try to cater for the way that they want to do it. Then of course we then quickly qualify them to see are they within our ICP or not, and then we move them in different directions.
Okay, super interesting. I want to move to more personal question, rapid fire type because we only got like around 7 minutes left. So I want to ask you, Henrik, personal questions. Like your background and how you got to there. So are you ready for this rapid fire type of round questions?
I'll do my best.
All right. So I want to know, what are your greatest loss for 2020 and or 2021, and you can follow up with your greatest wins of 2020 and 2021.
Oh my God. I think the greatest win at top of my head right now in 2021 is when the Danish national soccer team will win the Euro 2020.
Oh my God, that's so European. But also, the soccer culture is really strong here in Mexico. Like my wife's dad, he is a fanatic of soccer. Okay, what about your greatest win?
Well, that would be my greatest win in 21.
Okay, it was. I thought it was your greatest loss. Okay, and what would be your greatest loss? Did you had any loss?
Yeah, I thought about this. No, not really. I'm thinking back, and if you can categorize that as a loss, I think 2020 was extremely challenging with COVID. You had to manage the business, raise more capital. You had to worry about your team members and their families. You had to worry about your own family. So I guess I didn't lose, but I think I gained 10 kilos. And that was maybe my big loss, that I gained that.
Okay. Cool.
If you know what I mean? So it's that entire year that feels like a little bit lost, or something you will remember for the rest of your life as not something very pleasant.
Yeah. Or an opportunity to grow as well. I think, in life, well, from my personal experience, all the great downs were followed by great highs. And I guess that's another law of nature, but pretty interesting one. And I might have a couple of tips for you to stay in shape. when you are like locked inside four walls. You know, I've been a digital nomad for quite a while, and that's been my life, you know, for 6 years. I've been in quarantine for like 6 years. So as I like
Oh
to say,
yeah.
but I can follow up with that after the podcast here. I'll just follow up with a couple of more questions. So at what time do you get up, and at what time do you go to bed?
I get up at around 6 a.m. because then
Okay.
I have around an hour to do some exercising in the morning. And when I
Okay.
do exercise in the morning, I'm on fire for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I also have
Then
that
my
too.
yeah, and then I found out I I value sleep more now. So I
Mm.
want to get minimum 7 hours of sleep every day. So that means I'm in bed by 11.
Okay, pretty
And the
good.
combination of early morning exercise and getting to sleep at 11, and then we have a son, so
Yep.
weekends are the same. You know, there's no difference when we get up and go to bed. But that
Yep.
really makes me much more productive, pragmatic, effective, and better at what I do.
Yeah. What does your diet look like? Is it a specific diet or a normal diet?
It's quite a normal diet. So vegetables, meat. I try not to eat carbs or starch, so bread and
Mm-hmm.
pasta and stuff. When I don't do that, but one of my coping strategies when I'm stressed and in trouble, that's chocolate. Then I would eat an entire chocolate bar, an entire liter of chocolate ice cream or something like that. I'm very well aware of that, and
Yeah.
that's
Well, you know, you can make healthy ice cream. I can send you some recipe. They're still delicious. And a tip for chocolate, like everyone loves chocolate. Me specifically and my wife. I mean, chocolate was invented here in in Mexico, not invented as per se, but used here. And a good
yeah.
thing is, you know, you buy pure cacao and you buy stevia, and you mix.
Mm,
You can make a hot chocolate with cocoa oil,
mm.
and it tastes amazing. So I'll send you that recipe. I wanted to know as well, what life hacks. Well, let's finish up that way because we have like 2 minutes left. What are
Mm.
your best life hacks, and what are your best productivity hacks?
It is actually what I mentioned here. So I discovered in early 2020
Mhm.
that the key for me to be better as a person, as a boyfriend, as a
Yep.
business, everything
Yep.
is exercise in the morning and get enough sleep. Because
Yep.
if I get enough sleep, I'm not mentally. I do less of the bad things. I take less bad choices, and
Yeah.
I have more of a spine and resilient. And
Mhm.
if I exercise in the morning, I have more energy during the day. So those two things for me are fundamentally changed my life doing that. And
Okay.
I thought it was pretty good before that, but now I'm like shit. I'm like super
Yeah.
Henrik.
Yeah, I mean, sleep is a superpower. Like one, I mean, it only takes like one day where you feel tired, you get a good night of sleep, and the next day, like with a fresh brain, you're like, holy moly, I'm like a different person
Exactly.
now. Yeah.
Exactly.
Um,
And doing the exercise in the morning, it sort of blows, clears all the tubes and everything
yeah.
in my body. So I have a
Mhm.
higher level, energy level throughout the day.
Yeah, that's super good. I mean, you start with it. You not only do you get done with it, but you set the day right. You set the mood right,
Exactly.
because you tell your body that, like, hey, I'm doing this hard stuff, and the reward is all those beautiful chemicals that are released in your brain, dopamine, serotonin, and all of that. So yeah, a
Yes.
10 minutes hit in the morning is super duper good. Let's finish up that way. What would you tell um, the younger Henrik, so the 20-year-old Henrik, slash, what would you tell any young founders starting their journey?
I would um, I would tell them to just be like Nike, just do it. And I would tell them to don't be afraid of risk. And I would tell them to always, when they're at a choice, say, okay, what's the worst thing that could happen here? And can I live with that? And if I can live
Mhm.
with that, then go full in, all
That's
in.
so good. And that's so simple. Just do it. I mean, let's leave it to that. Just do it. Like 3 words, you know. Love it.
Be like Nike, just do it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And their new headquarters are crazy. Nike's headquarters. Not sure if you've seen it, but they're so cool. And I love this company. Read the biography of Phil Knight, which is super duper amazing book. I would recommend it. So, Henrik, thanks for coming today. It was hard to get a hold of one another, but we finally made it. So thank you for that. I'll send you a couple of follow-up, things from the stuff we talked about today. Thank you for your time, and we'll be in touch, buddy.
Yeah, and thanks for being so persistent. I really appreciate it, and thanks for the opportunity.
My pleasure.
And enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.